Now I'm too dark. Of course, it's gonna be brilliant. Yay. There you go. Side a bit too bright, but okay. Hello and welcome to Thursday. You remember last night for my vlog, I have something I want to, talk about. It was about my, my license and car situation. My friends, which are also from Hong Kong, quite rich, and each of them has at least one car. A couple of them even have a couple of cars, and this steering wheel right here is from one of the guys who owns one of the cars, but he kind of bought it out of rush and he didn't think much through about it, and after he bought it he realized I shouldn't have bought that and it doesn't suit his needs as such. So this car is actually being placed like in the parking lot, just at the corner, just chill, and it's not gonna be used except for some parts of the car maybe taken away and do stuff. So I've got my license, but I don't have much money to buy myself a car because I'm poor and my family is not that wealthy, so yeah. So kind of stuck with not having a car, and even though there are like cheap deals out there, but I don't want to, I don't trust in the reliability or other things, so yeah. So I think they will happily lend me the car and CCA for me to drive, with a few modifications, including adding back a handbrake. Yeah, the car doesn't have a handbrake actually. It didn't have the wires attached, and it's basically designed as a drifter. It don't have any stability control sort of thing put in. So we're planning to put that in as well if it was lent to me to drive. So yeah, but that thing it's bad. Let's put it that way. Yeah. The steering is good. The power steering is alright. The shifter, it's a manual car. It's a manual transmission car, and the shifter is really short and hard, and I can deal with that. But the most difficult thing I can't deal with is because it's a drifter car, there's like a whole big skid block down below the car. It's like covering the exhaust, like a skid block, like barely over the floor, that sort of thing. And when I try to drive that thing, when I go through speed bumps, the sound that it made is just horrendous, because it just scrapes through the skid block. And it's like, ugh. It's like so uncomfortable to hear, and yeah, it just makes me uncomfortable. Those guys, they say it's fine, the police won't bother you about your loud exhaust and your skid block, it's fine, but it's me. I'm feeling like, it feels like I'm wrecking the car, even though I'm driving it perfectly normally. I'm wrecking the car because scraping the bottom, even though that part is supposed to be used to prevent other parts from wrecked. Yeah, that part is supposed to cover the exhaust to prevent them being wrecked and stuff. So yeah. So generally I don't know. And also there's the problem of insurance, because it's mandated by law here. Every car must have insurance in order to be allowed to drive around. So, but you kind of have the money to pay for it. I think that car has like insurance of $140 per month, maybe even more. So that's, and I talked to my mum about, you know, cars and insurance and stuff, and she said at that time when I Skyped with her that she wouldn't give me any extra money for covering the insurance. So the living fees that now you get, is now you have, is what you got. You don't have any extras to pay for your car insurance or whatsoever, because I don't have any money. That's what she said. So yeah, it means if I'm gonna have, you know, if I'm gonna have to maintain a car here for driving around, I basically need to cut costs drastically and use my money cheekily, per se, like just sometimes using my mum's credit card instead of, you know, my debit card for my mum's account. So yeah, I don't know. The problem is I don't know what I want, because driving that car like every time when I drove it around the parking lot in school is just, it's not quite a torture, but it's quite near that, because like it's a mental thing. It's mentally like the sound of the bottom. It's just can't bear with that. And it's not like just a couple of times, just once or twice. It's like all the time. On every single speed bump, there's that sound. So whenever you're driving through a neighborhood with speed bumps, every speed bump, there's that annoying sound. No matter how slow you go on it, because that skid block makes, and with the car with a lowered ride height, just makes passing through speed bumps like that much more painful for me. It's like, oh, why? So yeah. But then again, that's basically the only option I have if I want to, you know, drive a car here. There's a few options. I can go on the market, go onto the dealership or Craigslist or whatever to, you know, search for a cheap deal, like perhaps under $1,000. I think about $1,000 is the maximum that I can afford, really. So it's like under $1,000 cars. And option 2 is to like modify it, just add back, you know, the stability control, the how would I say, the stability control out and a handbrake, and drive that thingy, which is part in CCA, or just flat out and drive it. Well, I just proposed a new plan to my friends that just wait until August when you sell the car eventually, because they don't want it. They just want its parts mostly. So why not just wait until you sold it, lend the money to me, and then along with my own money, I'm gonna buy at least a better car that's, you know, at least not a drifter per se. So I don't know what's his response. I don't think he's inclined to agree on that. So yeah, and like I've changed my plans so many times that he's just annoyed. So yeah, just driving that car through neighborhoods is just the most painful thing in the world, and also through parking lots, because that skid block I understand that it's there for protection. It scrapes itself to protect it from other parts, but it's still painful because it's like it's still a part of the car. Although it's quite a sacrificial part. Yeah. So, like, the first thing is about the insurance costs. Now, I currently, with my living fees and expenses, I need to cut my costs a lot in order to cover the insurance. Well, I have supplies. I can technically do that, but depends on whether I want to do that. And actually, basically, just cutting my cost won't help me for a lot. The most important thing I need to get done is to find a job here on campus. Otherwise, I don't have enough money to sustain the insurance, because basically, if I need to pay for insurance, it's already like a third or a fourth of my current allowance for living fees, and that's a lot. That's a lot for me. So yeah, need to cut back a lot of costs. But driving around is gonna increase the cost again, because you need gas. You need gas, and you need to maintain it, and all sorts of stuff. So yeah, and also that gearbox, man, that gearbox. I mean, it's not that hard to get in gear, but it's very hard to find the gear, find the place that you need to get into, if you know what I mean. And that transmission is just tight. I mean, my friends, they have like the same model, but like all the original parts, and including the shifters, exhaust, everything, suspension, everything. And the original transmission is just so loose, and it's just so easy to get in gear and find the place to get in. It's just a piece of cake. It's just a piece of cake, really, and that's just that makes my life that much harder. Yeah, and they're like, rushing me to try and make a decision, because when I talked to my mum, whenever I told my mum, she was like, no. She would definitely say no, because one, insurance is expensive, and two, that car is just dangerous for her. I mean, I have to put back some of the safety bits, it's fine, but for her it's dangerous. So yeah. So genuinely don't know what to do. Seriously. Because when I want to get things going, I can get going. It's gonna get going so quickly, and it's like it's gonna pass the point of no return immediately. That I want to think this through, but in the meantime, the more I think, the more I don't know what to do. So, I mean, just oh dear. I mean, I just don't know what to do with it. Seriously. So, I think by the time you see this vlog, I would have made my decision and go with it. So, in the comments, just say what should I have done? Because if I'm gonna buy my own car, my budget is $1,000 just to buy the car, and then there's like I don't know, $900 remaining for my living expenses, including insurance costs and maintenance costs. And also the cars, cheap cars that I can buy through Craigslist, there's like, I need to go to emission tests, and if I fail, there's like a bunch of maintenance fees. I mean, they're easy to drive because they're automatic transmission, but I do want to learn, I do want to get familiar with myself on driving manual here, because here the roads are wider, it's just less dangerous generally, because Hong Kong, you have tight roads, you always have traffic congestion, and yeah, that's just the fact of it. It's easier to learn how to drive manual here. So what should I do? What should I have done in order to, you know, give myself a car to drive? I mean, there's option 1, get to add modifications on this current car and just drive it, add some safety modifications and just drive it. 2, just don't drive for, you know, the rest of my time here, which this is the decision that my mum will mostly incline to, because she didn't expect me to drive a car, to buy a car to drive, or to drive a car in the first place. So yeah. Or 3rd, use my own money to buy a cheap car and take on the risk of extra costs, including possible maintenance, including just possible maintenance for emission tests and stuff. Or 4, wait until, you know, the friend that owns this car to sell it or trade it off, and just lend me the money to, and with a bit of my own, just to buy whatever car I want back when I come back here in like late August. Or do you have like any better thoughts and plans? I can't ask my mum for more money because she wouldn't allow it, flat out. And I mean, I'm finding a job now, but there's still no certainty if I will get the job or not. So yeah, it is a hard decision for me. Like some of my friends, they say, you know, just fuck it, just go with it. Just don't care. You've got enough money, you can still hold out on your financial situation. Just go with it. Just go with it. Just don't think about it. If you think about it, you get hesitant and you eventually not do it or whatever, and the opportunity would have passed. So just go with it. Some of my friends said that, and some of my friends just, you know, just face the reality here. You need to find a job, or just buy a car to drive. That's that. So yeah. That's it for today, I think. Quite a dilemma here. Or not a dilemma, like a 4-way road or something. Yeah, thanks for watching. Thanks for hearing me to ramble for 20 minutes again. Because I really need to get this out of my chest, you know. Because first, I don't know what to do, and I'm scared that my mum will, you know, just be mad because of driving that car or using her credit card to pay for insurance, or like not her credit card, but her associate card per se, and just friends. I mean, they have a lot here. They are the best chance for me to like have some, you know, close friends, not just like acquaintances of saying hi's and stuff. Those three guys are basically the only chance for me to have, you know, close friends, and we may, you know, live together in a few months, and yeah. I want to build like an actual close bond with them. Yeah. There's a lot at stake in this decision, I think. Perhaps a bit too much, I'm overthinking it, but for me, I think it's always better to overthink rather than, you know, underthink, if that's a word. Because like my friend who bought this car, he just didn't think and just go for it, and now this is the consequence. That car is just being sat there doing nothing, and just, yeah. So, God. Oh. Really don't know what to do. Genuinely just don't know what to do. Perhaps I'll tell you my decision, you know, in a later vlog or something. But yeah, seriously, this has been going on for too long now. That's it for today. Thank you so much for hearing me, you know, rambling once again. And as always, let's meet back the next time, shall we?